Hello, I thought it was time for another VR, and this one is hashtag It Takes a Village 2022. This is a VR to Don Michelle over at Boho Tarot, and you pick decks to signify the characters or the people in the village. And so I'm going to begin with the guide. And this is your go to individual that you would go to for most everything. And I don't know if I was supposed to, but I chose two decks for this category because there's really two that I have that are my go to. Um, the first one, of course, is the Everyday Witch. Um, and this deck, it's just simple and it's cute and it's just easy to read. Of course, it is a clone, but I am perfectly okay with that. Look at that cherry, isn't that awesome? But um, yeah, yeah, this is the Everyday Witch. Okay. And so the second one in this, and this has become like my main everyday deck. Ever since I got it, it is my go-to, and it is so easy for me to read. And that is the This Might Hurt Tarot. I'm sorry about the shadows and the lighting isn't the best, but we'll make do with what we have. So in the This Might Hurt Tarot, it's just a modern take on the Rider-Waite system. And for me, I've learned on Rider-Waite, but this deck puts it a modern spin on it and makes it so easy for me to relate to and for me to interpret or for me to read. I absolutely love this deck. It is currently one of two favorites, and you'll be seeing the other favorite here directly. Okay, so those two are the guides in the village. And then that brings us to the caregiver. And that is like who you would go to for support or for nurturing. And again, I have two decks. Oh, well. And the first is the Shadowscapes Tarot. When I first got this deck, it just spoke to my spirit. I could not believe the connection that I had to this deck. It is dreamy and soft and seems welcoming to me. And it's not quite as easy to read as some of my other decks, but it's like I still have a soul connection to this deck. So yeah, the Shadowscapes Tarot is one of my nurturing or support decks. That's one of my caregivers. And the other caregiver would have to be my mini oak, ash, and thorn. And I just recently got this, but I knew right away just looking through the images. This is, you know, when I think nurturing, I hear other people describe them as their hug decks. And that's what this deck does for me. It gives me a hug. It is an animal deck. I am an animal person. I love animals. I think you can tell a whole lot about somebody, how they treat animals and how they relate with animals. That tells me a whole lot about a person. I know if my dog don't like you, I don't like you neither. They seem to have a sense about people. But this deck just makes me want to be in the forest with these squirrels and foxes and rabbits and deer, and to just get a hug and to just sit and listen in the quiet spirit. So those are the caregivers. And next we have the Muse, and this is what gives you inspiration. Who or what gives you inspiration or get your creative juices flowing. And for me, this deck is Sawyer's Path. Now this is part of the deluxe box set. It is the red sketch drawings, but it's also the main deck. And but the imagery in this deck, I mean, I don't know how it couldn't. It's another clone, and I don't know how it wouldn't inspire or get someone's creative juices flowing. It does for me. Just the bright, vivid colors, and the way she interpreted the Rider-Waite images is just beautiful. And so this is Jamie Sawyer's Sawyer Path. That is my Muse. And then we come to the Counselor. And the Counselor is the one who assists with relationships. And for me, that is my second favorite deck, The Unfolding Path by Athene Arcana. And this deck, these images just shows me how to have relationships with myself, relationship with others in my life, with my family, with that significant other, you know, your boo thing, interaction with animals. Again, strength, you wouldn't think the strength card, but you know, her and the lion, you can tell they have a mutual love and respect for each other. But relationship with children, relationship with my lady friends, with my girlfriends, and another one, you know, with the family. But yeah, that's the Unfolding Path. That's my Counselor. And then we go to the Priestess or the Mystic. And this would be your spirit guide. And I don't know if I was supposed to use tarot or if I could use Oracle, but I went to Oracle for this. And for me, it is Energy and Spirit by Sandra Ann Taylor. This Oracle is like a spirit guide to me. You know, it shows you working with your ancestors, with different archangels, It's got a real nice, I mean, the photographs are intuitive. You got a title and you got keywords at the bottom. But also you have a lovely guidebook to supplement that if you need more after looking at the pictures. And I mean, you know, your past life guides and the elementals, the prophets and the ancient seers, and the wisdom of the Magi. I mean, it's just, yeah, this is my spirit guide. Energy and Spirit Oracle. And then that brings us to the Elder or the Sage. And this is, I have two here. This is the one who gives you advice, whether you're ready for it or not. And one of them, as surprising as it may be, is a teeny tiny tarot. It tells us that death is not the end, and shows us the world in peace with the dove, and temperance. But when I first got this deck and I did an interview with it, I said, what are you going to teach me? And it says, I got the card, the Tower, everything you thought you knew. And I thought, wow, this deck's got some sass, and it's gonna, and it does. This has become in a lot of ways my personal deck. It gives me advice whether I'm ready or not. And the other one that fit that category, that's just right there, is the Lightseers. The Lightseers, it will tell you what you need to hear, whether you want to hear it or not. Like, I love the Devil in this deck. Most people think the Devil, they think the Horned, and he's got the people in the chains. But, you know, sometimes the Devil looks good, and the Devil is temptation. And, you know, it's not who you think it is. So I liked that they represented the Devil in this way. And then Justice, the two sides of justice, the light and the dark. So yeah, I like this deck a lot for giving me advice, whether I'm ready for it or not. And then that brings us to the Teacher, and this is your current study deck. I am new to tarot. I haven't been around a real long time. So I am learning. I have learned Rider-Waite-Smith. And so I thought it appropriate that I get myself the Apprentice tarot deck. It comes with the keywords on the cards for uprights and reversals. If you want to learn to read reversals, this is the way to do it. And this has helped me learn a lot. I took some YouTube courses to learn, but this deck has also supplemented that, and it is still my study, and is still my go-to to learn. Okay, that brings us to the Outlander. And this is, it doesn't fit kind of anywhere, but you have it anyway. And this deck definitely fits that parameter. This is the United States of Tarot. Now, this is a politically leaning deck. It might not be everyone's cup of tea. I do like some of the representations that it does. The Five of Cups is Abraham Lincoln. And the Chariot is the Wagon Trail West. And Death, of course, is the Ku Klux Klan and the Confederacy. And then this talks about the lovers. If you're familiar, interracial marriage was illegal in the South, and this couple represents Lovins who got an amendment for interracial marriage. It shows the Ten of Pentacles, or the family card, as the Kennedys, which I thought was kind of appropriate. There was our Camelot. The Hermit, who's been around for so long, is Bernie Sanders, rather. Four of Wands is Obama and Biden. I like that it has Maya Angelou as the Ace of Cups. It has Ruth Bader Ginsburg as Justice. The Ten of Swords is the attack on the Capitol, January 6th. And the Magician is Putin, pulling Trump strings. So, like I said, it's political leaning. It doesn't fit really anywhere else. But I do have it. And I have used it. A matter of fact, I used it in a spread for, it was called Who Done It? And you was figuring out, it was like the game of Clue, who got killed. And I talked like who got killed in the White House, and then you use the deck to figure out who done it. That's in my VRs and hashtags. If you're interested in looking at that video, it's in there. Okay, so that brings us to the Stranger. And this is, they just moved in and you really don't know anything about them yet. And for me, I know this deck has been around for over a year, but this is my Jamie Sawyer's Pocket of Peers. I just got this deck a couple of weeks ago. I just took the deck condom off of it seconds ago so I could go through these cards. I haven't looked through the actual cards. I've been debating whether or not to do a flip through on this deck. I kind of want to, but I'm like, everybody's done seen the deck, but I don't know. We'll see. But it's brand new. I don't really know anything about it. The only thing that I know is that Jamie Sawyer's, there are different people in the tarot world that she uses for different representations. And I don't know if that's herself that she's got as the Fool. I know this is her mother, is the Magician. And then these are some of the other tarot people that I'm not familiar with. I want to study this deck and learn who is who and why she chose to put them on the cards that she did. But these were her peers in the tarot world. So yeah, I wanted to really look through this and study this. So this is my Stranger, is the Pocket of Peers. I think it's a beautiful deck. I love her artwork. You already saw one of her decks earlier in this VR. But yeah, I have 4 of her decks, I think. I am a big fan of Jamie Sawyer. So this is Pocket of Peers. That's the stranger in my village. And then that brings us to the Weaver. And the Weaver is the connector. Kind of like who brings things together. And I chose Elemental Wisdom Tarot. This is, I love, again, this is, as most of my decks are Waite clones. This is another. And I love the bright, beautiful, vivid colors. If you notice, that's kind of like one of my things. I either do soft and dreamy, or I do bright and vibrant, or my 2 aesthetics. But this deck is just so beautiful to me, and kind of weaves together the story that the Rider-Waite Smith is telling in the tarot of the Fool's Journey, from the beginning until we get to the World card. And I think it is just a gorgeous trip that we take with the Fool. I mean, look at some of these images. They're just beautiful. And so that's my village. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button. If you click on the little bell, it'll notify you when I put up new videos. Comment down below. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you thought of my choices, my selections. Tell me if you would have chosen something different. Let me know if you've done this VR, so I can go look at yours and see your choices and who you picked. Make suggestions for other content you'd like to see me to create, or share my videos with your friends. All of these things will help my channel to grow, and I'm grateful for everything that you do to help support me in this channel. And so I will see you soon, probably in a daily collective or in another VR. So, bye.